Jumoke Davis here for the Props Network with my predictions and some stats to back it up for my favorite Friday night matchups for your viewing and betting pleasure. First game up, San Antonio Spurs at the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers looking for their third win in a row. By the way, Ben Simmons is hitting threes, y'all. Okay, it was just 1 3, but let's see if maybe it can become a trend. 1 a game is pretty good. Now, it certainly was a nice prop bet, too. Check out that story on thepropsnetwork.com to see what one lucky bettor put in his pocket. Now, the Sixers had to rally from a 17-point deficit to beat the Knicks, 109-104 on Wednesday night, thanks in large part Joel Embiid, 23 points, but he also gotten another dust-up, this time with Marcus Morris Sr., who knows if Embiid's fighting game is going to be a big prop bet soon if he keeps this up. Ben Simmons added 18 points and a season-high 13 assists. Could the Sixers bench also help? Mike Scott knocked down 4 3-pointers off the bench to help with that win over the Knicks. So if you get some good bench play, Ben Simmons adding more points per game, and a 3, of course, and a season-high assists, who knows? The Sixers may be rolling too much for the Spurs, who are not the team we remembered. Remember how they were like consistent winners over the last 20 years, always going to the playoffs? Not this season. After 3 straight wins to start the season, the Spurs have dropped 10 of 12. Even worse, they're trying to avoid their 8th straight loss after a 138-102 loss on the road to the 4-8 Washington Wizards. DeMar DeRozan, the Spurs' leading scorer, he had 31 against the Wizards. He's going to need a lot more to help his team beat the Sixers. Now, they did get point guard Patty Mills back. He had 16 points in his first start of the season against the Spurs. We'll see what happens now that he's back in the starting lineup. Sixers 5-0 at home, but only 5-5 in their last 10 games. But the Spurs only have 1 road win. Money line, San Antonio Spurs at plus 245. Philadelphia at minus 305. Over and under at 224.5. If you had taken the over in the Spurs' last 5 games, you'd be a winner. Philly has been over in 4 of their last 6 games, so I'm taking the over. Point spread, Sixers minus 7.5. Now, Philly is 6-7-1 against the spread, but San Antonio are 3-12 against the spread on the season, 1-6 in their last 7 against the spread, and 3-6 in their last 9 versus Philly against the spread. I'm taking the Sixers minus 7.5. My prop bet, Tobias Harris as top scorer at plus 1,000. He's the second leading scorer on the team at 17.4 behind Joel Embiid, who's at minus 112. So I'm going to take Tobias Harris. I'll buy that for $1. On the Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge as a top scorer at plus 800. I'll take that too. And for total, for points, assists, and rebounds combined, I'm going with the over on DeMar DeRozan at 32.5. Next game up, Celtics at Nuggets. Denver is looking for its 8th win in 9 games. They are 7-0 when holding teams under 100 points per game, including a 10-point home win over Houston in their last game. That's right, the Houston Rockets were held under 100 points, and Denver became the first team to do that. It limited Harden to 27 points per game. That's right, the league leading average of 38.4 points per game. James Harden only had 27, so it's all about defense for the Nuggets. Now, the Celtics have lost 2 of their last 3 games following a 10-game winning streak. They lost 107-104 in overtime to the Los Angeles Clippers on Wednesday. We'll see if they can bounce back. But as a team, Boston didn't play that well shooting-wise. They missed their first 16 three-point attempts and finished 12 of 45 from long range. Kemba Walker, 4 of 17 for the game. That's not very good. And again, looking at that Nuggets defense, Denver ranks 3rd in the NBA in scoring defense and 5th in defending the three-pointer. So it may be another tough shooting night for Boston. Switching to Denver's offense, the Nuggets have scored 100 or more points in 12 of its 13 games. Money line, Boston plus 145, Denver minus 177. Over under at 206.5. Celtics have been under in 4 of their last 5 games. Nuggets have been under in 6 of their last 8 and 4 of 5 at home. I'm going with that trend and taking the under. Point spread, Denver minus 4. Denver is 6-6-1 against the spread. Boston 8-4-2 against the spread, but they are 1-4-1 versus Denver in their last 5 games against the spread. So who am I taking? I'm going to take Boston at +4. Prop bet I like, the last time these teams met in Denver, Murray exploded for a career best 48 points in a 115-107 win over the Celtics in November. I'm taking Murray with the over, although this one's only at 18.5. But the night won't be over in the NBA because there's one more big matchup on ESPN. Houston Rockets at the Los Angeles Clippers. There's a lot of drama with this game, and where should I start? One, it's the first big rematch on this young season in my mind. Just over a week ago, the Rockets beat the Clippers 102-93, so revenge may be on the minds of the Clippers. Now, that game was without Paul George, so it's definitely different this go-round. And Paul, he's playing in only his second game with Kawhi Leonard. They played in their first game together when they beat the Celtics. Injuries kept Paul George out of the lineup and in Kawhi a couple times with load management for their first 14 games. So tonight really is their second game together. But it's the first game where Paul George will be playing against Russell Westbrook, who is a Rocket now. George and Westbrook played together for 2 seasons in Oklahoma City before George left for the Clippers in a trade. And then the Thunder sent Russell Westbrook to Houston. Houston, we don't have a problem because we got Westbrook on this team. They'll be playing against each other for the first time. Now, they're fairly even in stats with that first game that they played against each other. Both teams shot 34% from 3. And the field goal percentage was 46 for LA and 44 for Houston. So I think this matchup could be pretty even. Money line, Houston +160, Clippers -195. Over under at 226.5. Now the Rockets score 118 points per game and the Clippers score 116 points per game. So combined, that's 234, which is definitely over. But on defense, the opponent's points per game for the Rockets is 113 and the Clippers is 112. And that's just under 225, which is definitely under this game. Houston has been under in their last 5 games and LA has been under 9 of the last 12. But I'm going over. More offense, less defense. That's what I expect tonight. I'm taking the over, 226.5. Point spread, Houston at +5. It was 4.5 last night on Unibet. Line may be moving today. The Rockets are 7-8 against the spread this season and 4-1 in their last 5. LA is 8-7 against the spread, but 1-4 in their last 5 Friday games. I'm taking the Rockets at +5. Prop bet I like. Back to that last game between the Clippers and Rockets, the bearded one, James Harden, went off for 47 points, y'all. 47 points with Patrick Beverley guarding him. Westbrook had some not so nice words to say about Patrick Beverley. He just said he's just running around, doing nothing. Well, we'll see what he's doing tonight because Harden may go off again. Now, the over-under on points for Harden is at 37.5. He's averaging a career high in field goal attempts at 24.7. A career high in three-point attempts at 13.9, and a career high in free throw attempts at 14.2. I'm taking the over. Harden will go off again. There's no doubt about that. Big game, prime time against the Clippers, the big competitor. I'm taking Harden with the over 37.5 points. Continue to check out our content on thepropsnetwork.com with links to top sports books a la Unibet and Tony Bruno's Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks for another big weekend in the NFL. First flex game, y'all. Packers-Niners in prime time. Happy waging, folks. I'm Jumoke Davis. Ciao for now.